Back in this booth, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you my Last of Us episode 4 review. You all by now should know I am a huge fan of this series as well as the video game. I played it during my video game days. It got me through so many different things. It actually helped me avoid having sex with women that I should not have been messing around with. But that's another story for another day, and I'll get to that later. This episode kind of grew the relationship between Joel and Ellie. We're going to break it down and talk about it right now. If you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Download the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Every video I put on YouTube, I put on the podcast. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and now I do have a budding TikTok. You can follow me there as well. In this episode, we finally saw Joel become a little bit more emotionally involved with Ellie, because by the end of this episode, she told a joke and he laughed at it. And she has now become more than just cargo to Joel. She is actually starting to become like a daughter. This episode also brought them finally discussing each other's past, whereas in the beginning, Joel was like, hell no, I don't want to discuss your past. I don't want to discuss mine. He even talked about his past with his brother, formerly in the Fireflies, and now he's in Wyoming, how they separated. He even talked a little bit about Joel, how he did bad things. And you remember him and Tess talked about they used to be bad people, because a lot of what they did on the video game and in this show was just to survive, ladies and gentlemen. You're in a damn fungal apocalypse and you've got other people trying to take you out. You're just trying to survive. And that's what they did. They introduced the hunters, which was on the game, but they introduced the leader of the hunters called Cathleen. She was not on the game. And Cathleen has some real heat. Of course she would. For two black folks, Sam and Henry, who were both on the video games, became big parts of the video games. You guys are going to come to love them. But she is hot to try after them some kind of bad. And in this episode, we saw some dudes killed that she thought was killed by people helping Sam and Henry. But we know as the audience that those people were killed by Joel and Ellie. And she wants these dudes so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that this bitch killed the doctor that birthed her. She was holding this doctor hostage because she wanted these two boys, and she wound up killing this dude. How the hell you kill the doctor that gave you life? She wasn't damn playing. Not to mention, we in an apocalyptic world where we probably need all the scientists possible, especially the doctors, to help us figure out how to overcome this shit. Now, what I'm wondering, will they do here that's different from the video game? Will Sam or Henry, maybe both, have the same genetic makeup and infused blood that Ellie has that could potentially save the world? I guess we'll soon find out. Another thing different that they did on the video game from the series is the location of where they're at in this episode. And basically, for you guys to understand what the hunters are nothing but kind of another group like the Fireflies that did not like Fedra, and they wanted their own kind of new world order, their own kind of government agency, but they are a little bit more ferocious than the Fireflies, a little bit more deadly than the Fireflies, meaning that they will kill people to take over space. They are willing to kill people to have territory, and it seems like they don't give a damn about coming up with a vaccine against the infected that's going on. During this episode, we get a whole lot of banter between Joel and Ellie. And did you guys catch the very beginning when Ellie found that tape of Hank Williams and gave it to Joel to play, and he played it? And also she found that dirty magazine that had some sticky material on it. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was nut, okay? Somebody in this truck, and it had to be Bill, was using that sticky magazine and Hank Aaron to give himself an orgasm. Now, I want you guys to sit here and think about that. You're listening to Hank Williams, watching a nudie magazine, and you're jerking off. And I guess you would do that if you're in a pop-delicate world because, hey, you still got to get a nut. But it was funny to me that she discussed that, and that was pulled right out of the video game. She threw that shit out the window, and they kept it moving. Joel taught her how to use a gun. just showing more and more of their growing relationship of we need each other and she's not cargo. And in the end, she wound up saving his ass. We learned that Joe left ear is his good ear, and he ain't got no hearing in his right ear, old lefty. And he set that trap for those people so that they could step on some glass. He didn't hear it. And guess what? That's how we get introduced to Sam and Henry. Another thing pulled right out of the video game, Sam and Henry was found in the apartment. And now, ladies and gentlemen, these four are probably going to have a budding alliance. Ellie now has someone that she can kind of rap with and vibe with. Did you see how my man had on his damn superhero paint on his face like Robin, trying to help him be a superhero and all that art? Us black nerds, we love that type of stuff. And I hope that they have these guys playing a big part in this season. But one of the best parts of this episode, ladies and gentlemen, all of us nerds have been telling y'all about the bloaters. The bloaters is the last leg of how people get infected. This is when you live a very long life and you hit the evolutionary pinnacle of fungal infection. When the earth quaked and the ground shook underneath the city, and did you see the road cracked up and broken up? When these bloaters come from out of the damn ground, ladies and gentlemen, y'all are going to be like, what the hell? Because they is going to be bad as hell. Hard to kill. I mean, when I say hard to kill, damn near it's hard to kill. I mean, these MFers that could walk through a vat of lava and still survive for a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. That's how bad these bloaters are going to be. And I can't wait for us to see this. Hopefully this coming Friday, by the way. The show is coming out Friday at 9 p.m. so that it avoids all the minutia of the Super Bowl. So make sure you check it out Friday at 9 p.m. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude my review. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel. Me and some other black nerds will be going live Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, to break this thing down and only the way some black nerds could do it. I'll have my homie LB come watch with me, and also the homie Lex the Targaryen breaking this thing down with me. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and the Twitter. And also download the podcast. And until that next sexy as hell video, I'll see you.